Alright guys, I am here to talk to you about Pythagorean theorem, which is also part of our lesson of 4-9. Okay, Pythagorean theorem is a formula that we use to solve the relationship that exists with right triangles. So when you have right triangles, you have this Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay? This is always the formula, and it's always in ABC order. In any right triangle, the sums of the squares of the lengths of the two legs, A and B, the sum, meaning adding, is equal to the length of its hypotenuse, which is C. And if you remember in class, we drew our right triangles. Okay, this being our right triangle, okay, diagonal, straight out, also known as our largest side, and hypotenuse is going to be C. And this is hypotenuse. Okay? The only side that gets the name hypotenuse. The other sides are B and A, and these are both legs. We call them legs of the triangle. Okay? And that's how you get A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So now, let's go ahead and solve our first problem. So I'm going to go ahead over here in this corner. We're going to make ourselves a right triangle. And I am solving for the hypotenuse this time, C. Our A is going to be 12 centimeters, and our B is going to be 16 centimeters. So using the Pythagorean theorem of A squared plus B squared equals C squared, we can solve this problem. Now, reminder, this is A squared, not A times 2. It's A times A. So whatever A is, we have to multiply it by itself. So what is our A? Our A is going to be 12. So we have 12 squared. Now we go to our B. Bring down the plus sign. Our B is down here, which is 16. So it's going to be 16 squared. All equals C squared. Well, we don't know what C is, so we just put C squared. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and multiply this all out. 12 times 12 is going to give me 144, plus 16 times 16 is going to give me 256. If I add those two numbers together, I will find out what C squared is. Adding those two numbers together, I get 400 equals C squared. Now what that means is C times C equals 400. I want to know what just one of those C's equal. Now that is not a divide by 2 because this is not a multiply by 2. This is a square. So in order to do that, we take C squared, we set it equal to 400, and then we take the square root. When we take the square root, we are solving for one of the C's. It comes C by itself. It becomes singular. And then I'm asking myself, what two numbers that are the exact same, when I multiply them, give me 400? Well, my answer is 20. 20 times 20 gives me 400, so C equals 20. Now my final answer is going to be 20 centimeters. You need to make sure you put the units. You can't just leave those off. All right, what if we try one more? Let's try one where the triangle is in a different shape. Still a right triangle, I shouldn't say different shape, but facing a different way. Maybe a little off, might not be your perfect right triangle like we've been drawing. Well, now how do we label which one's A, B, and C? Well, we know going from this corner straight out, also our longest side and the diagonal side is always going to be C. Okay, B is always going to be the one right next to this, or you can say to the right of the right triangle, and then the value going up is going to be A. So now that you have your triangle labeled correctly, let's go ahead and put in the values. So I'm going to tell you that C equals 13 centimeters, and I'm going to tell you that A equals 5 centimeters. So as you can see here, we are going to be solving for B. So let's write our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, let's fill in our values. A squared, right here, 5. So we go 5 squared. Bring down our plus sign. Okay, B squared. Oh, we don't have a B. That's okay. We'll just bring down B squared. You keep them in the same order no matter what. Now our C. Our C was 13, and we need to take its square. So all I did was take this information and put it into the formula. Okay, so now let's start to solve this. 5 squared is going to be 5 times 5, which is 25, plus B squared, because we don't know what B is. And then 13 times 2 is going to be, oh, not 13 times 2. See, I made my silly mistake. 13 squared, excuse me, is going to be 169. Don't do 13 times 2 like I almost did. All right. Now I want to get the variable by itself. My variable is my B. So I'm looking at what is attached to my B right now. My 25 is attached to my B. I need to get rid of this. What kind of 25 is it? Well, I look in the front. It doesn't have a negative, so it must be positive. Opposite of positive 25 is going to be negative 25. Okay? What you do to one side, you do to the other. Alright, now these 25s cancel. My B squared falls down. And I do 169, take away 25, which is going to give me 144. That's the value of 2 B's. But I want to know what the value of just 1 B is. So I'm going to take the square root of both. And this becomes a single B. And now a number that when I multiply itself gives me 144 is going to be 12. Because 12 times 12 equals 144. So B equals 12 centimeters. Make sure you put your units. Okay, how about this one? What if we get one that doesn't give us a perfect answer at the end? So let's try one of those. So here's my right triangle. This one's going to go in this direction. And I'm going to tell you that my A is 11 centimeters. I don't know what C is, and my B is 15 centimeters. Okay, putting this into the formula, I'm going to get 11 squared plus 15 squared equals C squared. All right, 11 squared is going to give me 121 plus 15 squared is going to give me 225 equals C squared. Now I need to add these two together. 121 plus 225 is going to give me 346 equals C squared. Now again, I want to know what the value of one of those C's are. So I'm going to take the square root of both. And when I do that, I get C equals, now I need to ask myself, what number times itself is going to give me 346. Alright, well, let's try this on a calculator just so you can see what a calculator would look like in this sense. Alright, so let's look. Well, I definitely know it's larger than 12. So I'm going to go ahead and let's try 16. 16 times 16 is going to give me 256. Alright, so let's write that down over here. Let's do 16 squared equals 256. So let's try 17 squared. All right, 17 squared is going to be, let's see, 17 times 17 equals 289. Okay, so I have 289. All right, let's try 18 squared. We're getting a little closer. Okay, 18 times 18 is going to equal 324. Wow. All right, let's try 19 squared. Just to make sure I don't go over way too far, but it might be closer. You never know. 19 times 19 is going to give me 361. 361. So I'm looking, I have 324 to 361. Now my answer is 346. Is 346 closer to this option or this option? Okay? Now you can make this a number line and do all that other stuff, but it's actually going to be a little bit more closer to this. Okay? And 324 was the answer to 18 squared. So 18 is about our answer for C. And using this about symbol allows us to know that we are rounding this off. It wasn't a perfect square. Again, with the calculator, if you wanted to double check, if you were close enough, you would clear this out and do 346 and hit the square root symbol, and you see that you get 18.6. 18.6 would round to 19, or you can leave it at 18.6. Well, actually, technically, I should make this. Let me make a correction. I meant to say this is about 18.6. Okay, so yeah, it's technically next to the 18. But if I round this to the nearest whole number, then I would have the answer of 19. So I would say, you know what, overall, I would say my answer is 19. But if you gave me 18.6, I would take that also. Okay, because if you kind of look at it, yeah, it's kind of close, but it's really almost smack dab right in the center. Alright guys, well I hope this helps you on your homework tonight. Make sure you check out the notes if you need more help. Have a great night.